This Yerushalmi Berachos Daf Samach Aleph, according to the pagination of Ozbo, Art Scroll. Actually starts on mem base on the base in the Vilna pagination, and we're starting from the top. Hashar Kol Dvarim, even though we went already a little bit into Samach Aleph yesterday, but we'll start from there. Hashar Kol Dvarim Sha'afapi Sheshkukim Heim, even though they're ground up, Be'ein on Heim. They have the same bracha as they have when they are whole. Rabbi Chia bar Ava b'Shem Yochanan, Zayis kavush. If you have a pickled olive, Omer by pre'etz. You say by pre'etz, bracha doesn't change. Even though kavush harei kivushal, it doesn't change the status. Right? I assume by an olive, even with change the status by anything else, but an olive, since the derech is eaten pickled, so therefore it will not change the status. Rabbi Yirmin b'Yim Yam bar Yavas Hashem Rabbi Yochanan said Yerek Shaluk. If you have a cooked vegetable, and then you make a bracha sha'akol bivaro, and according to the name Moshe, Rabbi Binyan Poli Rabbi Chia, b'Shem Rabbi Yochanan. So it means Rabbi Chia bar Ava. So according to, and since kavush and vush are the same thing, so kaki Rabbi Yitzchak the Shalom Nishtari Berachos v'Omer sha'akol v'hu adin l'kavush. So I'm not sure that we muchach to say that there's such machlekes. But it seems the next line in Yerushalmi that it is a machlekes, and that the fact that the olives are more derech to be pickled than you would cook a vegetable is not a factor, because next line says, Rabbi Shua bar Yitzchak masnisa sayil Rabbi Binyamin ben Nefes. So it seems like quite explicit. It's machlekes. Here by Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Binyamin ben Nefes, named Rabbi Yochanan. The Yamin Minefes's Masorah is backed up by the following brisa. Lo avalok vushim lo shlukim lo mevushalim bein on haim. I'm sorry, lo vushim lo shlukim lo mevushalim. You can't be yotze moron if it's soaked, cooked, or pickled or soaked. Same idea actually. And not cooked. Shlukim is very well cooked. But Mvushalim is somewhat less well cooked, but they're not yotzi. You're not yotzi with them. But if they are be'ein, adam yotzi b'hem midocha b'asan Pesach, a person can fulfills obligation with them on Pesach. Now be'ein here obviously means even it has to be raw, not just that it's be'ein that it's whole because it's cooked or pickled. You can't use it as maror. Be'ein here means it has to be in its original state. Rabbi Zira said, "Man yada mishma." This is the according to Mashbiach. He was saying, "Who sat closer that knew her to hear more precisely?" Meaning Rabbi Yochanan. Yos Rabbi Chia bar. I'm sorry, Man yada mishma and Rabbi Yochanan. Yos, who would have heard more precise because they sat closer, Rabbi Chia bar Ava or Rabbi Yirmiyah? Which one of the two? Rabbi Chia bar Ava? Wouldn't it be Rabbi Chia bar Ava? So therefore, a pickled olive, the bracha must be ha'etz. According to Rabbi Yochanan. Furthermore, we have more evidence of Chia bar Ava. Because we see Rabbanan, Rav Ravaya, the great rabbis, Olun Lavriyosa, they go to Avriyasa means something outside, but here he says here in the Pnei Moshe they go into Avrah. In other words, they go to make themselves healthy, to spa. So then when they go to make themselves healthy, nasin tumusin take lupins, which is a unique Middle Eastern vegetable legume, and they make piyadama, and we know tumusin have shlugimen, aren't tumusin very heavily cooked, otherwise they're not edible. So we see it doesn't go down. So the Mashbiach explains the saying, it says if you're not yotzei rechim morar after it's cooked, doesn't that demonstrate to us that they went down a level? So what are we going to do with that morar mishnah? So the answer is shani yishamator meruchin. It has to be bitter, and turmusim presumably tomorrow. Tumusi Mara is useful for tomorrow, but it's just like Tumusi Mara came with Shishokin Kvar Butler Merirasa. Once you cook them, they're no longer bitter, and therefore you don't say because it's not bitter anymore. Ridbaz says, I have to next to Ridbaz, like where I brought the word Ma'anyen. Interesting. So let's see what he says. From here we have difficulty with Chacham Tzvi. Simon Kufiu Tes. Shemach Sher Salata. He's Machshir salad. Al mitzvah Tamara, because mitzvah mitzvah Shem Yeshlo Simona. Because it has a simon, the somewhere where it says and more begins soft and then hard and hard. And salad begins soft and ends up hard. I assume it's like iceberg lettuce, has no bitterness. I feel more she's bato tam rirus, and even more itself when it's negated from when its bitterness is bato. Like a hamburger, actually, Ari Ashkenaz, she's yesh batam more b'tzarchil. It could be that the salad in Germany was different. There are many different types of salad. It could be that in Germany, what's called salad is not the same as what's called salad by the Ridbaz in Eretz Yisrael, or and he was in Chicago for that matter. So it could be that there was a distinction indeed. But it seems quite clear in this Gemara that you need some state of minerals and cooking with bato that minerals. Amrei B'Yossi Rabbi Boon v'lo pligin. Now this comes back to what I said before, that perhaps Rabbi Yom Yefes and Rechir Bavo don't argue, and he says it says in Ridbaz Amrei B'Yochem Amar Rabbi Boon v'lo pligin Zayis Adei she'ein darko le'achol chai avish kavash beinahu Yerek Kevon Sheshoko Nishtane. That's what Ridbaz's Girsa in the Gemara. Not sure what difference it is. So he puts the word Aidesha Ein Darko Lechochai. Since you don't normally eat it chai, not Darko Lecho, but since She'ein Darko Lechochai, even though he was Kovesh it, it's still considered to be Be'ein. Whereas a Yerek, once you cooked it, it's not Be'ein. And according to this, comes out really, Mashbiach says, anytime you soak, pickle, or cook, it goes out of Madrega. But it's different because its pickling is it's a small change, and it's not done with strong herbs, and therefore it doesn't change that much, and its bracha is ha'etz. The Charedim has a different girsa, which is that he brings down the Rashba like the Ridbaz, which is Rashi like the Ridbaz, and according to this, so basically the image between the Mashbiach and the Ridbaz / Charedim is that the Mashbiach retains the girsa here. Right, it says when he learns it, it's Zayis Aidesha Darko Lechochai Avo Bishkovish Beinahu. That olive, even though you do eat it raw, but the pickling is very slight, so therefore it doesn't change the taste that much. I prefer the Ridbaz and Charedim's girsa, which is that Zayis you don't normally eat raw. You normally eat it pickled. Normally eats raw olives, so therefore that's going to be considered to be an ikar way of eating it, and therefore it's eats. Regardless, the vegetable, once you cook it, it's different. Rabbi Yaakov Bar Achla Amar Spalgin Rab Nachman Rabbanan. It's Machlokes Rab Nachman Rabbanan. Rab Nachman Amar Rab Nachman said some reason the Girsa in the Charedim is Rabbi Nechemia. And we'll see about that in a moment. But Rab Amar Motzi Lechem in Oretz takes bread out of land. Rabbanan Amei Motzi, without the hey idea. Motzi Lechem in Oretz. So the Charedim says Hasfar some Pachos Bavavli. Apparently the opinions are switched in the Bavli. Appears on the Motzi Kuliyam Lapli Shehoti Kfar Mashma. Everybody says that Motzi means that he already did so. Fuvatai Bracha Guda, still need a good bracha. The Shavar Ba'inon, because we need something about the past. Shekfar Hotzi Alechem is Emirates, because the bread is already moved from the ground. Shubal and his man when he comes to enjoy it. The Ksiv Kem Motziam in Mitzrayim. And it's inferred from Parshas Bullock, where it says, Shem took them out of Egypt. Shema Parshas Bilam, Kvariyotzu. When Parshas Bilam was said, it was when they already left. Keep pleading Ba Moitzi. In the Bible, it says, Machletz Bar Motzi. Mars Bar L'Shavar, one man that holds it infers the past. God took you out water from the stone. Mars Bar Osidu. It's future tense. God takes you out of the suffering Mitzrayim. Shemar Pasal Moshe, when they Pasal say Moshe, Tayin Lo Yatsu, they didn't leave, had not yet left. V'amotzi Chamayim, Adayin Hayam Motzi Koy Moshe Yisrael, but also Amotzi Chamayim. So Chalamish is talking about future times in the desert. Tiretz Amotzi is Eschem, Lumandar Motzi Shavar Mashma. So it works it out in the Bible. But here in the Yerushalmi, there is the Machlekes is the other way around. Rabbi Nachman Nehemiah says here Motzi, and whereas the Bobby says Motzi, and Rabbanan say Motzi, whereas in the Bible they say Hamotzi. So the Mashgiach gives a very nice pshat. Mashiach says the Machlekes is to what we give more, according to Yerushalmi, it's not the Bible, but according to the Yerushalmi question is what we give more of an emphasis, the past or the future. And also they argue about this by, as we shall see momentarily, by Lefes. Why is Lefes called Lefes? Is it based on the past or based on the future? And it's a Machlekes in Loshen. And according to this, the Pasuk in Tehillim, which is going to be brought down, is only to make a parallel between Lefes and Pisas. And the Ritbaz says that this Pasuk, which we're going to see, is going on the bread of Lassi Lavo. Okay, so let's see that inside. So this Machlekes is like the other Machlekes. Lefes, Lefes, Lo Pas Hoisa. Lo Pas Hoisa was it not bread? In other words, didn't bread once grow on trees? Whereas Charona, the other one says, Lefes, Lo Pasi Asida Lios. It's not going to be, it's not bread eventually going to grow on trees. So the, again, we're learning Lefes and Pas having a similarity, because and darshaning that way, as if it says Lo Pas, being Lefes. And the question, what are we stressing here? Are we stressing the future or the past? Ye pisas bar ba'aretz b'rosh harim, and then we say the pasuk Baz says it's good going lechem losi lavo, is the pasuk down here that there's going to be wild bread growing at the tops of the mountains. Rabbi Yirmiyah Baruch Kumi Rabbi Zira Motzi lechem aretz. The cows say, and he praised him. Mak Rabbi Nehemiah. Wait a minute, isn't that like Rabbi Nehemiah? Yeah, and it's Shalol La'ariv Osios, not to mix the letters together, because it's Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hamotzi. If we didn't have the hay, if we put it together, they would slur Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Hamotzi. The mem and mem would slur together. The Gillian Ashas brings down that the Rosh has a different version of Yerushalmi, that it said that the crux hiba motzi lechem yoretz, but that's not the Yerushalmi we have in front of us. Me'ata, so ask more Me'ata, hamin haaretz. So we're going to say hamotzi lechem min hamotzi, the ratio between the mem and the mem. So hamotzi lechem min. Should have to put in a hay also there. Hamin haaretz. Shol ariv rashi oisios. Not to mix up the letters. So the obviously the Gemara doesn't answer it, but it's obviously not comparable. So I point out, so we not point out before from the Charedim, it says asida liyos klirama so psubis. Asida so shetoti gluskos. And so it's going to produce loaves of bread on the trees. The CV pisas bar. But lefes hagodol rachav tzuras godol. A big lefes is which is broad, tzuras pas gedola. gula looks like a big round bread. The shame lefes. I think it means it also the name lefes similar to doimelo. Yotze lechem and four minoretz. Okay, and it says Ashkan Shino Shemos. We're obviously dashing the name of lefes. That eventually, right now we're eating turnips, but eventually, or in the past, in the future, we're going to eat bread which grows on trees. Okay, says the Gemara further. Al Daiter Nechemia, according to Rabbi Nechemia, Habore Priyagofen. You should probably say Habore Priyagofen, just like you say Motzi Lechem Haaretz. Al Daiter Rabbanan Bore Priyagofen. According to Rabbanan, it says Priyagofen like we say it. So Al Daiter Rabbi Nechemia that want to distinguish. So it seems a little bit difficult. Because it's not all comparable. The bracha of hamotzi with the memes and the bracha on the wine, which doesn't have the similar letters. So the way Mashgiach learns the Gemara, the question is not left unanswered, and this is the conclusion the Gemara gives based on the question. Gemara rejects the assumption that when it says if that's the case, you should say Hamin Haaretz. Then and we don't use that to reject the premise and says no, we don't say hamotzi lechem in order to distinguish between holam and motzi, because then we should say motzi lechem hamin haaretz. Since we don't say that, it must be the reason Rabbi Nechemia is just because a hay is a better bracha, and the reason Rabbanan is because without a hay it's a better bracha, perhaps similar to the Bavli. And therefore, the Gemara says, no, it's taka has nothing to do with separating the letters, and therefore it would follow that Rabbi Yechemi would say habori priyagofen, and Rabbi Rabbanan would say bori priyagofen. So obviously we are inconsistent in this regard because we say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and we say bori priyagofen, not habori priyagofen. So it would presumably that's because perhaps because we do remain with the answer of that it's only to separate the similar sounding letters. Not clear. But the Charedim does say that's far. The Charedim says, I'll die to Rebbe Nechemia. Talmud Mitzrayim, my Sakadaitin made Korah, according to what you originally thought. If it has to the past or not, they're supposed to argue by wine. And the Bore Mashma Lahaba. Bore sounds like we emphasize the future, which he wants to emphasize. I'm sorry, you say Habore to emphasize the past. Kamash Motzi. The question of Rashba. Let's see what people do. The Mavarach HaMotzi, Ubari Priyagofen, we're inconsistent. We said, Kosa Tais Rosh B'Sefer Agudah, the Samcha Yerushalmi. Why is Yerushalmi the Ein Hatam, Tam HaMotzi, Ela Shalol Ari Mosios, Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabbi Zira, the Kalse. Might have tried to kunate to B'Takdinon. It's in fact only in order to separate. Over Lechem Min Haaretz Naktina Lishna Dekra. So why don't we say Lechem Ha Min Haaretz? Lechem hamin haaretz, because that's language of the pasuk. Matzmiach chatzi lebema beisel avodas adam laotzi lechem min haaretz. So that's why we don't change it there. Okay, yes, with some stay on the besar it's bosav, and I think the Rush brings down that because this pasuk has 10 letters, that's why we are botzea with our 10 letters. Can't ask the table shel pasuk zeh ad kan. So. It's not like the Mashgiach, because according to Mashgiach, it's we would have to be consistent. According to the Charedim is saying that basically yes, we leave that question dangling, but we have an answer, which is in the Rishonim, which is that we go after the Lish and the Krah, so therefore we can't fix Ham and say Hamin Haaretz, but where we can fix it, we do fix it. Where we fix it by Hamotzi. Olam Hamotzi. And but that's only because the letters are similar. But by Bore Pirgofen, there's no similar letters. We don't say Habore. Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Zrikon, Rabbi Zira Boy. Rabbi Zrikon said Rabbi Zira asks. Hayin the Nasa Tumus, the Sami takes the Turmus. Baruch Allah makes a bracha. The Nafal Minay, and it falls out of his hand. Man Baruch Allah lays Mantaninus. So we make a bracha on it when we pick it up a second time. So Mara says, Man Bin Ben Amasamai. What's mentioned this? And flowing water. Where the water you're about to drink is not the same water which you made a bracha on. So Tama Lekach Kimen Tchibitchila. There you had a mohain, as the water passes. Whatever water you get to after you make the bracha, that's the one in which the bracha takes effect. Here, it's not the case. You didn't have in mind that the bread's going to fall. So therefore, you already have to make the bracha, which I believe is in fact the halacha. We are ready on Samach Beis Mal, so we'll stop here.